Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and wonder to yourself, where the hell did my life go? Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and think about those long forgotten dreams you had when you were a kid? Think about what it is that you wanted to be when you got older. Think about those long abandoned ambitions and goals that you had for yourself, and wake up in a cold sweat and wonder how it all just slipped away. How life got to be a result of the circumstances in your life. Do you ever wake up and think about this, only to return the next day doing the same menial, unfulfilling, and boring tasks day in and day out, to return to your life of just kind of going through the motions? How many times do we go through our lives, be honest with yourself, doing the same unfulfilling thing, living the same unfulfilling way, day after day, year after year, decade after decade, wondering and just hoping that someday, somehow, it's going to get better? We are conditioned, really, as a society and as human beings now, to live in this state of perpetual avoidance of what really fills us up. We're conditioned and we live and we settle in this state of perpetual avoidance of what our heart is really singing at us to do with our lives. So my question to you today is, what is your big dream in life? Maybe your big dream is to finally start that big business that you've always been thinking of, but haven't had the courage yet to pull the trigger on. Maybe your big dream you've had since you were a kid, like I did. And that was to travel the world, doing what you absolutely love, seeing the sights, experiencing the cultures of the world. But you've been too scared to get a passport and to book a ticket. Maybe your big goal and your big ambition in life, maybe what keeps you up at night is just wondering, when is it going to be my turn to be happy? When do I get to be filled up in the world? When do I get to wake up every day with a smile on my face? But you haven't yet practiced the tools to happiness. See, the thing is, each and every one of us, we can have these goals. We can start that business. We can find that happiness. We can travel the world full time. We can all do that. But what we do is instead, subconsciously, we choose the life of instant gratification. We choose the life every single day. We choose this subconsciously of indulging ourselves in fleeting and fading gratification every single day, instead of pursuing what really fills us up and really what would light our life on fire, what would make our hearts sing even louder. What do? We drink too much on the weekends to mask that boredom of life, that boredom of having to get up on Monday morning, do the same thing we've always done, and just kind of dreading it. We watch YouTube videos and watch films about traveling the world instead of finally getting that visa and that passport and booking that trip. We sit down on our couch and we watch Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, and we say, man, that'd be nice to start a business. I've always wanted to start a business. And instead of taking the first step into starting that business that we've had in our heads our entire lives, we let it pass us by. Sadly, we convince ourselves that happiness might hopefully someday come to us eventually. So we convince ourselves that we don't have to put in the work to create happiness ourselves. These are all just examples of things that I've experienced in my own life, or things that I've worked with people on creating in their lives. But each and every one of us, we have something in our heart. Now the question here is this something you're actually pursuing in your life? Or is this something that you're kind of hoping that someday is going to happen? And meanwhile, while you're doing that, you're pursuing that life of just instant gratification, of perpetual avoidance from what it is your heart's asking you to do. So what is your big dream? What would make your life completely fulfilling? What would make you fired up about the gift of life? Because life is a gift. What happened to those beautiful dreams of ours? What happened to those goals, to those ambitions? And why do we choose to go through life settling, very clearly settling, for less than what it is that we really deeply and truly and honestly want out of our lives? Why do we settle? Why do we choose that instant gratification life that's so unfulfilling and avoid that life that is completely enriching? Well, like I did 8 years ago, we just need to wake the hell up and realize that an extraordinary life, a life of happiness, abundance, prosperity, freedom, purpose, all these things will never happen to us. It's something we have to create. It's something that we get to make for ourselves. It's something that we have to dive into. It's something that we have to choose to really embrace and show up powerfully in the world to get. You see, hoping and wishing that someday things are going to get better, that I'm going to be happier, that I'm going to make money. That's like the lottery mentality. How many people win the lottery? And hoping and wishing and just thinking about it, that's not how an extraordinary life works. And this is exactly why I love coaching so much. I just wrapped up a weekend of coaching calls, and I'm just really fired up about that right now. One of my clients this morning, she said to me, she said it in a very poetic way. She said, there was a magical alchemy in our coaching session last week. And that comes, in my opinion, from adventurous coaching for extraordinary people. And I want to be clear here, a lot of people mistake this. Coaching, really adventurous, powerful, extraordinary, and deep, profound coaching. Having that doesn't mean you're less than. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're less of a person. Powerful and adventurous coaching means that you're ready to quit settling for less than what it is you deserve. You're willing to really step into your power in the world and to create the life of your dreams. You're willing to really quit settling for less than a life of purpose and passion. You're ready and willing to pursue the greatest adventure of your entire life. Now, adventurous coaching, what do I mean by that? Adventurous coaching is, on my end, the willingness and the drive to really go deep with somebody. See, we go through the world and we have plenty of surface level conversations with people. You know, how often do we talk with somebody and they want to talk about their dreams or goals and nobody really wants to listen? We're kind of waiting for our turn to speak. So adventurous coaching, what I do and what I'm passionate about and what my purpose is to hold people at their highest, absolute highest selves. Because when I hold people at their highest selves and I expect them to perform at that level week after week, extraordinary, amazing, and incredible things start to happen in their lives. Adventurous coaching is to never allow my clients to settle for less than what it is they want, to always be pushing into that, to always be creating that extraordinary life. Adventurous coaching is to call you out on your BS when you need it. Adventurous coaching is a deep, a powerful, and a life-changing conversation. Every single day that I wake up and I show up powerfully in the world, I ask myself, who can I serve so powerfully that they never forget the conversation I have with them the rest of their lives? I do that every single week with the people I work with. And I do that by holding them to their absolute highest self, asking them to stretch themselves, to go boldly into their dreams, to go boldly into their goals. Because when you sign up with me, when my clients sign up with me, I always say this, there is adventure left in so many people's hearts when they die, not my clients. There is music left unplayed in so many people's soul and spirit when they die, not my clients. So when you sign up and you work with me, you make the agreement that we will pursue a relationship of adventurous coaching. And adventurous coaching means that what I say, it might not always please you, but I can guarantee that it will serve you powerfully. I guarantee you, I say this all the time because I'm willing to go bold. I'm willing to be adventurous with people. That we will create an insight that has the potential to change your life. We will create the seeds for a breakthrough that have the potential to change your life. Now it's up to you, really, to take that adventure, to embark on that quest. But we will create that. See, people, they're not used to having these kinds of conversations. We go and we hang out with our friends and we talk surface level, right? And that's exactly why most people are where they are in their life right now. We're not willing to have those powerful conversations. And this is why I love what I do. Simply getting deep into what drives people. Simply getting deep and going powerfully. If it takes people getting emotional, that's great. And that's what needs to be done. We do that. It means having the kind of powerful conversation that people aren't used to. I like to call these adventurous coaching conversations like campfire conversations. You ever had a campfire with somebody, maybe you're sharing a bottle of wine or tea or something like that, and you're having a campfire, maybe it's at the beach or maybe in the middle of the woods. And it's one of those conversations that you stay up all night talking about. And it's not surface level, it's like deep and it flows very naturally and it's very graceful. And you always look back on that conversation and you say, that was the most incredible, powerful, life-changing conversation I've ever had in my life. This is what I make my life's work to do. And this is what I think every coach should do, is to go bold and deep with the people that they work with, so that every conversation is like that campfire conversation. Every single conversation they have with a client, or really anybody that's thinking about working with them, should be powerful, deep, and adventurous. See, because what I know is that without these types of powerful, deep, conversations with people. What most people do, what do? We revert back to old patterns, to old behavior. We revert back to that life of instant gratification. Well, I'm not accountable to anyone to kind of pursue this business or to practice my happiness or to save to book that trip or to create that extraordinary life. I'm not accountable to anyone. So I'm just going to revert back to what pleases me right now. That instant gratification, what I call fast food decisions. I realize that as human beings, we are kind of conditioned to revert back to those old patterns. There's so much societal pressures around us that are convincing us, hey, come drink on the weekend instead of working on that business. Hey, can we complain tonight? You know, the group of friends that you have that love to complain all the time, how can you practice happiness like that? But when you have somebody that's going to hold you accountable to that, and you know this week they're going to have that kind of adventurous conversation with you that's going to go deep and to be powerful, it's so much easier to show up bigger in the world and to show up more powerfully in the world. You're less likely to revert back to your old patterns because at the end of the week, you know you're going to talk to somebody who has you accountable, who's consistently asking you to push yourself into that kind of life that you want and to pursue that life of purpose, of passion, of abundance, of freedom, to pursue that life, that extraordinary life that you want. And you know, not only are you accountable, but that kind of life is never going to happen to you. That it's something that you get to create for yourself. Man, that's a beautiful thing. See, I always say this. I get a lot of people that come and they want to work with me. And I don't work with everyone. I choose not to. I always have that agreement. What I say will be adventurous. We're going to go bold, we're going to go deep. What I say, it might not please you, but I can promise you that it will serve you in a very powerful way. And I will do everything that I can on my end to not let you fail at this. I will not let you revert back to old patterns. I will hold you at your absolute highest, most powerful self and really expect that from you. And if you agree to that, we can talk about working together. Because that's when magic happens. And when that kind of synergy happens with a coach and a client, abundance, prosperity, freedom, adventure, that's called a life worth remembering. That's dying on your deathbed. That's dying on your deathbed, having amazing stories to tell your grandchildren. That's having your 95th birthday, blowing out the candles and saying, you guys want to hear some epic stories? You want to hear how grandpa or grandma lived their extraordinary life? That's how that happens. It doesn't happen by reverting back to old patterns. It's a result of having those powerful, adventurous, and life-changing conversations and being held to performing at that level. Because when you play life fully and when you're held to that, when you do that, and when you're fully engaged in the adventure of life, life easily becomes a beautifully engaging adventure. So when I say adventurous coaching for extraordinary people, the adventurous coaching is how I hold my clients. But the extraordinary people part, that's up to you. I only choose to work with people who choose to be extraordinary. I only choose to work with people who are ready to embark on the greatest adventure of their entire life. I only choose to work with people who are willing to show up powerfully in the world, to stretch themselves out of their comfort zone and to grow so exponentially as a result and live the kind of life that you can write a best-selling memoir about. This is a call to action for every single one of you to begin pursuing that adventure that's deep in your heart. No matter how crazy you think it is, no matter how unrealistic, no matter what everyone else around you is saying you shouldn't do, this is a call to action for you to pursue that. This is a call to action for you to wake up every day like you mean it, like life is a gift because it is, and to pursue that vision that you have for yourself. This is a call to action to shatter everything that has held you back in life and to more boldly pursue the life that you dream of. The question I have for you really is, are you ready? You guys, thank you so much for watching my video right now. I just had an amazing weekend of epic coaching calls, so I had to share kind of my experience and just my passion for what I do, really. If you guys liked this video, give it a like down there. And if you loved it, consider sharing with your friends. Hit that subscribe button right there. I'm just going to leave that subscribe button right there. You guys, all the best. Be good, be awesome, be great. Onwards and upwards, baby. Boom.